Welcome, dirty Outriders of Enoch, to Mom's Basement, from where I bring you another Outriders build video. A super aggressive and fun to run Devastator build, which doesn't need any fancy legendaries or tier 3 mods. So it is, as always, casual dead approved. It takes some points in the class tree till it really shines, but then it is absolutely amazing, and let me tell you, this is the best build to blow off some steam after a hot day. As always, we will create a nice and concise cheat sheet during this video, so you have the full build on one slide at the end of it. Isn't that beautiful, ladies and gentlemen? So stay with me for my Outriders Heavy Metal Devastator build. And remember folks, like, subscribe and hit the bell to stay updated and help me out, cause for every like, Mom gives Dirty a cookie and I love my cookies. Moreover, if you're interested in seeing me live, make sure to drop by at Mom's Basement, from where I stream every Tuesday and Thursday on twitch.tv. You will find the links in the description and I'm looking forward to seeing you there. And now let's get it on folks with the Heavy Metal Devastator build. Okay, dirty folks, time to show you this awesome Devastator build in detail. We will start with the class tree, where I show you what I picked, when and why. The order will be shown on the cheat sheet as well, so no worries there. Next, I will show you the skills to use with this build and the armor mods that are critical for this build. I will give you a little recommendation regarding armor stats, which weapon or weapons to pick and what mods to use with them. In addition, I will show you a little how-to, where I will show you how to play this build, because you have to be really aggressive to make it work. But with all that said, let's start with the class tree and the points we pick. So here we are on the Devastator class tree. You can see, start with the basics. So the healing mechanic, everybody you kill in close range will heal you. You have increased armor and you receive an additional 50% max health. So that's the basics. So let's start with the points. We go down here and start with Anomaly Reservoir. Increase your anomaly power by 6%. Next up we will use increase your skill leech by 6% with Rejuvenation, however that's called. This will help you when you spread your bleed to get some heal and also get heals from other skills. Then another Anomaly Reservoir for your anomaly power by 6%. We continue to the right for Perpetual Motion, which reduces all your kinetic cooldowns. Then another Anomaly Reservoir. A Seismic cooldown reduction with Endless Tremors. And again, Anomaly Reservoir. So we stop right here and we go down and pick Strong Arm after the law. Double the damage of class melee skill. It is beautiful because we will use our melee a lot. Like a lot. Next we go up here, increase damage by 20% against enemies below 30% of health. That's pretty useful for that last execution window, so to speak. And I go over here, another Anomaly Reservoir for anomaly power. And then we go down here, bleed afflicted on enemies deals 30% more damage. And this one is also critical, ladies and gentlemen. Blood donation. You are healed for 25% of your bleed damage. So as soon as you have this one and enough skill life leech, that's when the build really starts to shine. So as soon as we got this one, because that was our priority in combination with this one, we go all the way back here to Unending Watch, reduce protection skills cooldown by 15%. And from there the next we pick is Paladin. Using protection skills increases anomaly power by 45% for 10 seconds. So that's really a huge anomaly buff right there, so we pick this one as well. After you have Paladin, it's basically back to the end and just continue the skill tree to the right. So Rejuvenation with another increase of your skill leech. Skill Sentry to increase your armor by 20% and resistance by 20% for 10 seconds whenever your skills end. Then we have Bloodbath, bleed afflicted on enemies deals 30% more damage again. And the last one, Earth Heritage, increase seismic skills base damage by 50%. That is pretty nice for Earthquake. So now we have 18 points spent, so we have 2 left, and those are kind of personal preference. You could go with longer bleed duration, you could go with more resistance piercing, you could go with even more cooldown for Earthquake. For the seismic skills right now I use Protected by the Anomaly, increase your armor bonus by 40% of your anomaly power, and combine that with after using class melee skill, increase resistance piercing by 15% for each enemy hit for 10 seconds with a strong arm of the anomaly. So that's the skill tree I run now, but as said 19 and 20 can be switched. So with this class tree completed, let's head over to our cheat sheet. Okay, beautiful. So here's the cheat sheet. As you can see, I numbered the order when and what to pick, 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on, pretty easy. And I also, as said, mention here points 19 and 20 are flexible. So let's continue with the skills we're gonna use. So first up we have Earthquake, the Seismic and Interrupt. This one you will be using to spread your bleed mainly. Then we got Gravity Leap, which is a kinetic skill and also an interrupt. It helps you to relocate fast across the map. So those little buggy snipers come to mind, right? And the second one I love to use it is defensive, because don't forget, or I don't know if you know, but when you are midair, you are immune to any damage. So if you need some breathing time or you get some bleeds up but are very low, just press Gravity Leap, get up in the air, take some time, give your skills a little time to reset their cooldowns, and just the last second attack somebody with Gravity Leap, because it also does nice damage. But the defensive uses can't be stated high enough, in my opinion. Then third one we have Golem, which is a protection skill. It reduces the damage you take by 65% and is also used to, to trigger this anomaly buff, 45%. Don't forget that. So use Golem when it's ready. So these are the skills we are using, which brings us right to the armor mods to make them stronger. So I start with an overview for blue gear mods. To get the build and the leveling started, that's all tier 1. So the first one is Bloodshock. Earthquake inflicts a bleed on enemies damaged by the skill. As said, we use that to spread our bleed. Next up is Earth's Legacy. The skill's range is increased by 60%. Then we have Bleeding Impulse. When the skill is active, spawn radial impulses that inflict bleed on enemies within 10 meter radius, frequency of 2 seconds. So basically you trigger your golem and then run around and just spread bleed again, which in combination with the class tree and the armor stats we will go for, gives you constant heals. That's really beautiful. So the more enemies, the merrier. Then we have Preservance, increase the skills duration by 100%. And there's another mod which increases the skills duration by 2 seconds for every kill while it's active, and I'm not sure if that one's better or Perseverance. But Perseverance just works always, also against single target enemies like bosses or champions. So I prefer this one at the moment. For expeditions that might change. Then we have Human Comet. Gravity Leap increases the skills damage by 8000 or whatever your anomaly power is or what level you have. So that's based on that. So that's also kind of flexible. I like to have it because it's a quick high damage skill. So pretty neat. But maybe you want to run like 2 Earthquakes or something like that. That's up to you. These are basically the core mods, which gets you started on the build. But when you only have the tier 1 mods, it's a bit tricky to use, so you have to be a bit careful at the beginning. But as soon as you switch from blue gear to epic gear, and add the next row of mods we're gonna talk about now, ladies and gentlemen, that is when it gets really dirty. Let's start with the first one. Martial Arts. Reduce the cooldown of your melee skill by 50%. Brawl. Boosts your melee skill by 100%. You see where we are going, right? We're going all in on melee. Perseverance Fists. Whenever your health drops below 30%, increase your melee damage by 300%, ladies and gentlemen. That's really beautiful. Then we have Stand Tall. Receive anomaly power and firepower when out of cover for more than 5 seconds. And most of the time we will be out of cover and running around. So that's basically permanent buff for us. So let me go over here. So we talked about, or I've showed you these 3 mods, which basically all strengthen your melee. And don't forget, we also have this melee buff from our class tree. So we get a nice little damage buff, or a nice little huge damage buff on our melee. And with the reduced cooldown, we can use it double the time than without the martial arts mod. And here's still 1 slot. 1 slot is empty, ladies and gentlemen, and that is where it's really getting nasty. Untamed Power. Using skills deals additional damage to enemies within a 5 meter radius around you. The damage is equal to 30% of your anomaly power. So keep that in mind. And this one is not just working for skills, ladies and gentlemen, because this one is kind of what makes this build really crazy. This mod also works for your melee ability. So whenever you use your melee, There's another 5-meter radius instant damage around you, which is 30% of your anomaly power. That can get really huge. Let me tell you, when you combine it with, when you pull Golem, and then you get the anomaly buff, and then you start hitting folks with the anomaly buff, it's getting crazy and nasty. It's beautiful. So that's basically the core, the skills, the mods. Now you know what it's all about. It's about melee punches like crazy. But let's continue with the rest of the build before I show you how to use it with a little gameplay. So what weapons to use? In my opinion, it's the most beneficial if you use a shotgun as a primary, and I would prefer a regular shotgun and not an automatic shotgun, because the automatics bleed so fast during your limited ammo reserves. So I prefer a regular one. And it's really beneficial because most of the time you will be in close range. The recommended stats for the shotgun, in my opinion, would be weapon life leech, status power, and close range damage. You could also have skill life leech instead of close range damage if you prefer that. As a backup, I would use a tactical assault rifle or a standard rifle, so you have something when you need the range. So which mods do we run? Here are the mods. So for the shotgun, Shield Maiden, shots generate shield, and I love to run Clip Roller with shotguns. So when your magazine has 50% or less ammo left, you can roll quickly to reload all your equipped weapons. That is really beautiful. And Shield Maiden, coming back to Shield Maiden, that one works really great with something like a shotgun, and it has a 1-second cooldown, so slow shooting guns with high damage are really beneficial for this one. Then for the backup, I would also go with Shield Maiden now, and I run Death Chains. Shots entangle an enemy with change and deals additional damage over 3 seconds. That's really nice against champions or bosses for just a little extra dot damage. So we get the skills, the armor mods, the weapons down. So let me give you some recommendations for armor stats. So the best stats for this build are for sure go all in into anomaly power. Then we want status power, skill life leech, and cooldown reduction. Skill life leech for me is preferred because most of the time we will just punch stuff and don't rely so much on our skills. Still, cooldown reduction is beneficial. That's another one I would recommend. So with that said, our heavy metal leveling Devastator build is complete, and I hope you try it and I hope you like it. And now let me show you some gameplay, how it is used. So let's just go with this bridge gameplay. Get them a bit together, spread your earthquake, gravity leap in, bam, melee it, shotgun melee combo. Pull your golem so you get the shield, and then just try to combo the shotgun and the melee so you get shield and the additional damage and bleeds going. So we killed off the little buggers. So now it's time for the brood mother. Earthquake here. Gravity leap to avoid her leap. And now she's alone, so we have to kite her a little bit. So golem is up. That's when we go in and really shotgun melee her as often and as quickly as possible. The little buggers are really helpful there because they heal us. There's an alpha coming. Shotgun punch combo. So whenever you see the blue stuff around your character, that's when you triggered the skill melee mod, additional AoE damage, so to speak. This one right there. So kite her a little bit. Or the champion or boss or whatever. Golem is up. Time to go in and have fun and punch her to death. And another critical part of the build I not mentioned yet is the music. So let's add some heavy metal to that. Much better. So back to the cheat sheet. So here's the cheat sheet, and as you have seen in the quick gameplay example, there was really no danger at all. Sometimes you have to be careful and keep your gravity leap at the backhand. So when you're low and there are no enemies you can heal off, just leap into the air and wait it out a little bit that you get your earthquake back or close to getting it back. and leap down again and spread bleed with the earthquake. So that's really how it's used, and if you get some nice metal going in the background, this build shines even more. So with all that said and seen, I think the build is complete. I think you now know what it's all about, and stay tuned on my YouTube because we will have some heavy metal Devastator specials coming to you from Mom's Basement in the near future. So all I gotta say now is if you liked what you have been seeing and want to see more stuff coming to you from Mom's Basement, make sure to like and subscribe, hit the bell, comment below how you like the build, how you like Outriders, and to stay updated, follow me on Twitter as well, or just drop in one of my streams over at twitch.tv, where I am live every Tuesday and Thursday. Be aware though that one of those might be a hot tub stream, so if you are not ready for that, don't join. So that's it from me. Stay dirty, people. DirtyHotte out.